So शुरू करते हैं. Good morning. Today हम लोग will continue the computer applications wala part in fluid dynamics. So last time, if you remember, we started just an introductory part about how the computational fluid dynamics are, what are its components, kya what kind of inputs we can give, right? Velocities, pressure, and we saw it can be done in two types. Like finite element method is one of the methods that is universally used, but another method that is more suited to this kind of problems is finite volume method. So we saw that as well, right? कि क्या होता है finite volume method, how it is different from finite element method, and कहाँ से यूज़ कर सकते हैं उसे, कौन से किस टाइप के प्रॉब्लम्स में वो रेलिवेंट होता है. ऑल दीज वी डिस्कस्ड, राइट? सो if you remember last time we did some this sort of geometry where we had some um, bigger elements, we have smaller elements, and we tried to see कि movement पे क्या effect होता है, how the velocities are there, how the things are moving and so on. इसको मैं अभी के लिए रखता हूँ ऐसे. But today we'll see how we can do some practical ventilation type of work, ventilation simulation sort of. In ventilation simulation, what needs to be done is basically similar to whatever we were doing in normal fluid dynamics. The only differences are that fluid changes, and uh, the capacity of the fluid to retain its motion, or the viscosity, or the other parameters basically are different from what we saw in water kind of scenarios, right? So in that sense, one typical exercise we'll see of a straw type of thing that is vended. So that basically is a small scale sort of a uh, 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 ventilation gallery sort of in underground. We can assume it in that way. And what we'll be doing it, we are scaling it down. So basically almost 1 meter to 1 centimeter in that sense. And these elements are all 50 centimeters in that way. And we are inputting a 1 meter per second uh, air in. So we'll see how this can be done, what all things will be required, what all parameters will be required, and what all we can get out of this kind of simulation. Okay, so this is scaled down for the sake of simplicity. Otherwise, I would have done it in a sort of a 3 by 4 centimeter, 3 by 4 meter opening, and for 30 by 30 by 30 meters. But the thing is that if I do that right now, it will take a significant amount of time to compute with this, so won't be able to cover many things. So what we are doing is basically we are scaling them down, and the concept remains same while we understand what is being done and everything in relation to that. Okay, so let's start. We'll use ANSYS as we were doing that last time. This time uh, we'll see we can have the simple geometry made uh, by just quickly tracing the path, and doing the three-dimensional modeling sort of. So it's just as soon as it opens, we will start. Yep. Okay. So as you are all aware now, ANSYS has this workbench type of scenario where we can do all kinds of simulation. So for now, we are doing Fluent or in computational fluid dynamics. So best, most popular one is Fluent. So we'll use the Fluent base here. Okay. Again, do remember we still work in the same process as finite element method. Though the calculations change for finite volume method in this case, but the workflow remains same. So there will be a pre-processing stage, there will be a processing stage, and there will be a post-processing stage. So as we were seeing in the pre-processing stage, there is a geometry, there is a material assignment, right? There is a boundary condition, and all these things are in pre-processing. So let's start with that. So first we'll go for the geometry part. Uh, so basically, this question that was there, it is a bit simplified. It has a circular cross section, and it has basically a uh, uh, three element sort of zigzag way. So just to basically interpret it as a gallery that goes on right and then again turns left, something like that. So let's do that. This one is too much scattered around. Let me fix this. Right. Okay. So the geometry interface something looks like this. I think now you are used to it. We will work on first XY plane. So let's click it here. And first of all, we make the cross section thing. So cross section is a circular cross section. So we make a circle, simple enough. Uh, just click on the circle, and with center and radius, we can define a circle, right? So we define it. Right now, the units are in meters. So let's change the units to centimeters for now because most of our work will be in that sense. And we have to redimension it because it has become very big. So we have been given a diameter of 2. So let's use the diameter tool, and of 2 centimeters. It's 734 centimeters. So 2 centimeters will be okay. Right. And it has sort of disappeared, but we can just look at it. Oops. Okay. So this will be our cross section. We'll be using a command called sweep command. Sweep command, what it does is it takes two kind of geometries. One will be the path, and the other will be the cross section. And the sweep, what it does is it sweeps. It makes the cross section go through the path. That makes a three-dimensional modeling. So we'll do that. And for doing that, what we need to give, so this is the cross section. We also need to make a path for it. So we do that in XZ direction because that will be the perpendicular direction for this. What I will do is let me remove this because the work for this dimension is done. And let me see. So if I just want to see my geometry, it is like this, right? And so this one is in XY plane. We have to make a perpendicular on that in XZ plane. So XZ plane, it will be, the drawing should be either a perpendicular in the positive Z direction or in the negative Z direction. That's how we can sweep it. So it will be like presently is also representing a cross section. So let's do that. We have to look it from the top, and this is the Z direction. So let's start drawing for a second sketch. So we have to make a sketch here, XZ direction, and generate a new sketch. So new sketch can be generated from here. sketch 2, and let's make a polyline group of lines in the XZ direction. Right, we are so XZ. Okay, ठीक है. So we make three perpendicular ways, because that's how the question says, and then we will redimension them. Let's close this, and let's make changes to the dimensions. So this will be 1, this will be 2, and this will be 3. All these we have to put at 50. So let's put them as 50 centimeters each. Right. And if we look a little bit out, that's how it is, right? And if we just want to check where our both of these things are, so our sketch 1 is here, right, and the sketch 2 is here, so perfectly perpendicular, that's okay. But in sketch 2 we have to do some more work, because it's the edges are very sharp, right? So what we'll do is we'll use uh, a tool to modify it called fillet. Fillet, what it does is basically it makes the curves smooth. So these and this, the curve will become smooth. So now it's up to us what radius I want it to be. So I can put 1.5. I think that will work. And I select this and select this and this. So as soon as I did that, you can see, oops, you can see how the fillet works, uh, like this, right? So the bend has been made. Same thing we have to do in the other end as well. Again modify, doing the same thing. Do this, select this, select this. Didn't work. What happened? Yeah. Okay. So we made it smoother. I think it's on the scale of it, it still is very sharp. So what we can do is, because it's 50 centimeters, we can have a little bit more. Uh, it's 50, so we can have, let's try 2.5 or 3 centimeters. I think that will work. Yeah, this is better because the scale is large, so we have to make a better curve as well. We have to delete the old one. So the path is, looks like this. We have to delete the old one here as well. now if we see our sketch, how it looks is something like this, right? Why you are not able to see this is because these dimensions basically are obscuring our view. I can remove these in the sketching part by just clicking on the dimension because we have already dimensioned it, so uh, no need to basically keep them. Oh, sorry. Anyways, what now we will do is what we have to convert this okay, something is wrong. And where is the sketch 2? किसी और ही एक्सेस पे बन गया क्या? अच्छा, so it won't work. I feel एक बार मैं check कर लेता हूँ. We use the sweep command. We give profile for sketch 2. No, sorry, sketch 1. And profile is a sketch 2. I don't think it should work because they are both alignment is a different, but let's see. Yeah, it won't work. So let me fix that. Quickly, rather than trying to reposition it, it's better to delete and do it again. Yes. So what is happening is we have to make it perpendicular to that our first geometry, and somehow didn't work in the first part. So let's do that. That's okay. We have where is the first geometry? Yeah, we have our first geometry here, and in perpendicular to that we have to make a path. So we'll make it in the top direction so that it remains in that way. Okay, so new sketch again. Some things keep on coming, so that's okay. We can sort those errors out. Okay, and quickly make a polyline. Right. And just in order to confirm that wherever we are still aligned properly, so this is our circle and this is our sketch, so I think we are good this time. Yeah, and this way, perfect. Okay, so should we? Yeah, let's try and do it that again. The chamfering thing, and yeah, simple enough, right? And the bad thing is we didn't dimension it, so we have to dimension it. Should have been done before, so we have to do it before. Right. And these are 50 and then 50, then 50. What I will do is I'll remove these right here so that they don't impair our vision in that sense. Right. Now it is only the geometry. We want fillet. Let's put 5 centimeter fillet because in that also will work. Yeah. And here. Perfect. So it's our geometry is like this. The path is here, and our uh, that is somewhere on the x-axis. So now we make it into a 3 dimension. We use the sweep command. Sweep command we can so it has two options to enter: the profile, that is the cross section, and the path. So let's enter the profile first. Sketch 1 is the profile, so we select the sketch 1, and the path is the sketch 2, right? And it has some other variables: add material, path, tangent, which direction we have to, twisting, no twisting. So that's okay. Keep it as the defaults and generate. So that's our 3-dimensional model. Okay. So now you can see how 2D geometry can be swept in uh, whatever way we want it to be made. Okay. So we can give a path, we can give a cross section, and it can be totally converted into whichever path you want. So if you are, it's basically this computer-aided design CAD thing. So if you guys, some of you might have worked on CAD, so typical CAD stuff, modifying 2-dimensional to 3-dimensional work. Okay, so this is done. Let's just save it. And and we can close this geometry. We got done with the geometry part, and we can open the next part of it, that is the uh, meshing and discretization. Okay, किसी को कोई डाउट हो, कहीं भी रुकना हो, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा हो, पूछ लेना. I want you to try this out at home. जो फ्री वर्जन है अपना अवेलेबल, उसमें ट्राई करके देखो. ये बहुत सिंपल, वेरी सिंपल डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन हैं ये, इसमें ज़्यादा टेक्निकलिटीज नहीं है, तो विल बी इजी फॉर यू ऑल्सो. Now it is basically importing that geometry, and as soon as it is done, we can do the meshing part. Yeah. So here is its the geometry we made: 50 centimeters, 50 and 50, and 2 centimeter diameter is the radius. Okay. तो आप क्या करते हैं, मैशिंग जो जनरल मैशिंग है वो करके देखते हैं क्या हो रहा है. So it has basically done okayish meshing. इसमें दो चीज़ें हैं. एक तो there is a center that should be covered, so there is a node at the center. That's okay, that is good. And the density of the mesh should be sufficient. So especially at the bends, because bends में ही ज़्यादा problem होती है, right? तो एक काम ये कर सकते हैं हम लोग कि we can define a refinement. Now there are few facilities we can see how the meshing is done. There is something called selection pane, so we can basically find the cross sections or how the meshing looks inside as well. So I am just drawing this cross section plane So basically it will cut it, and if I rotate it, I can see how the inside meshing is done. This is okay, but even we can see the in 3-dimensional how the elements look. So this is how the elements will look inside. So these are basically all uh, these hex dominant uh, methods. So all are cuboidal or semi-cuboidal sort of elements are there. Uh, Even in the bends, what I can see is they have basically tried and used similar stuff. So what I can do is there is a difference between the outer and the inner ones. So there should be a little bit higher meshing on these side kind of edges because we want more data from there. So what we'll do is just a sec. Uh, let's go into the previous view and add some new methods. So first of all, I will update the sizing or the method first. So method, we can give different kinds of meshing that we want. So like in phase or slide, or phase, we were aware about 3-noded or 4-noded, right? Here also we can give some 3-dimensional figures like tetrahedrons only hex dominant, or there are other ways also. So keep it hex dominant. It was already hex dominant, right? Okay, that is okay. And one more thing, we will define how much sizing we want. So because the uh, first we have to select the geometry, because the cross section is already 2 centimeters. So what we'll do is we'll keep it as what it is, or we can even increase it to in 0.5 mm or 0.2 mm. So 0.2 meter. So in this is going in meters. So let's keep it at 2 mm. So basically what we want is at least 10 sections in a cross section. So in that way, it should give us a good mesh. So it's updated. So as long as the model is how inner the meshing we are doing, it will take a corresponding amount of time. So that's why we scaled it down a bit. Even for this, it will take some time to basically do the calculations. Even thing part, it will take a little bit amount of time. But what we have to do for getting good results, that remember even the meshing has to be sometimes adopted uh, according to the situation. Bad network. Guys, you can hear me, right, everyone? You all can hear me?
So in the middle, some part of your voice was cut.
Oh, uh, okay. Anything? What part did you miss? Uh, Now it is okay. It is.
Yes.
I think it is fluctuating. It's also shown me that bad connection or something. It's recording, right? Yeah. Okay. So generation will take some time. So let's wait for that. Recording has started. That's okay. Till the time it is happening, any of you can tell me what is the time that it shows for the meeting? How much time we have passed? Like there is a recording button, right? There where it shows recording, and next to it there is a time. Anyone can anyone tell me what is the time written there in MS Teams?
35, sir.
35, it's coming, right? Strangely, in mine it is just 4 minutes 33 seconds. That's so strange. Oh, what up? 5 8. Okay, let me reduce its load a bit. So generally it works till now. I don't know why it's taking so much time. Let's wait a bit more. Otherwise we'll remove this, and whatever there is we'll work on that. Uh, somehow the process is being blocked. Why? Process should not be blocked. Yeah, now it's okay. So now the mesh is a bit finer, but now we have lost the center here, so we have to keep the center. Element mid-side nodes should be kept, and we want to give additional refinement on the edges. So we give mesh refinement and select these corners, right? And basically update these with the new one. So now it should not take time that much. If yeah, so now it's all well meshed. If we want to see how it looks, and now it has converted into all tetrahedrons, keeping the center point as a mesh node point. So keeping advantage of keeping a center point as the node point is that because if we take cross sections, many of the in two-dimensional, many of these things can be converted easily. So that's the advantage of keeping the node at the center. Now you see the bends have also been better refined, and in sense the meshing is being densified. So that helps. And if you want to see how it looks in the middle, we had already cross-sectioned it, so we can see there, and how the elements now look in 3 dimensions. So if you can zoom in and see how these the boundaries of these elements or the main tetrahedrons look after meshing. So all these nodes or the edge points will be calculated, and within the gray area, all the estimations will be made based on basis functions. So this is how the meshing is done. Okay, this is just a view to see what are being done. Otherwise, overall, it is like this. So it's done for the meshing part. Let's update this. And one more thing we have to do for fluid dynamics type, we have to basically define few things. We have to define where we want our inlet to be, where we want our outlet to be, and which are the walls. So these, by defining these, basically the program next step, basically the processing step knows what we are talking about. So let's do that. Let's select one edge and create a named section. So we just name it as inlet, right? And click yes. So in named selection, this is the inlet, right? We have to do more stuff. We have to create an outlet and define this outlet like this, right? And the walls. So what I will do is for here, I will define two types of walls. Uh, uh, you will see why I'm doing this, because there is a next part to it. But I will use this section as one element wall and the rest of it as the next element wall. We, in general sense, we have to do it together. But I will tell you in the next step or the next type of kind of simulation why I'm doing this. So let me create this named as wall element 1, right? And rest of it, the screenplay is a bit slow, not able to follow each step. Screenplay क्या होता है? Like it's coming later. Next step, what we'll do is we'll put it at pipe wall. Lagging. अच्छा. क्या करें? Should we? I can do one thing. मैं इसको अनशेयर करता हूँ एक बार और फिर से शेयर करके देखते हैं. ऑडियो वीडियो मेरा सही है. इफ यू आर हियरिंग एंड सीइंग मी ओके, लाइक मेरा ऑडियो वीडियो का तो लैग नहीं है. ऑडियो वीडियो फॉर मी इज ओके.
Yes.
हाँ, सो आई थिंक इसका ही है. तो एक काम करते हैं, लेट मी अनशेयर दिस एंड शेयर इट अगेन. ठीक है. अब इस समय वैसे तो लैन से कनेक्टेड है, so it should not be giving us problems. But you never know, NIT Rourkela network sometimes gives some problems. ठीक है, ना देखते हैं. Let's see if it works out. अगर नहीं work कर रहा है, so let's find out some other ways. ठीक है, let's see. अगर हो तो बताना क्या दिक्कत आ रही है थोड़ी देर में. So till now what we have done is we basically have meshed the whole element, whatever we made. We did some mesh refinement. We defined some properties of the mesh to be tetrahedral. We did the body sizing, so we defined the size of the elements, and we refined it at few positions, the bends especially, because during the bending we need more data. Okay, and then we defined there should be some named sections. There should be one inlet, one outlet, right? And I have defined pipe wall and another section as wall element 1. That will be used later on for our different purposes. Okay. Or let me do one thing. I will delete this. And for now, let's keep it as pipe wall completely, so that next we can do later on. All right. So this is the pipe wall. This is inlet. This is outlet. Simple, right? So that's the definition. We just save it and delete this. So all things are done. Let's close this. So this will be going back to the workbench scenario. So now we are done with the meshing part. We are done with the geometry part. Now we will be going for the material properties and the uh, uh, boundary conditions. So that we do in something called Fluent Launcher in this. So it has different modules like, so this has a Fluent module. We'll use double precision values. Double precision values basically changes from a 16-bit to 32-bit to a 64-bit pointing system. So you can get more precise values, or the rounding error is removed. And we can use the processors. I have 4, so let's use that. And parallel processing basically improves that processing time, so that's okay. So now first what it will do is basically this module is independent. So it will check what kind of meshing is done, what kind of geometry it is, what kind of faces I have given, named selections I have given. It will do a complete check on that. And basically it is trying to import all the data to its interface. So it is done now. We can run another check if what kind of mesh elements are there. So what is the minimum volume, what is the maximum volume, total volume of that, and so on. So all these details we can get from here. Now a few things we have to see this in this Fluent. We have to first define what type of materials we want. So solid, we are not caring that much because it's just in the boundary. It basically gives some resistance. So they have aluminum defined as the solid. So let's keep that. That's okay for now. We can if we are doing those full scale measurements, we can define soil type of solid. So what we need, what kind of properties we need are like properties like density, properties like resistance, and so on. So that we can give and define our own material in that sense. What we are concerned is what kind of fluid we want. So air is already selected. So I think that will be sufficient. Let's double click it and see what are its properties. So viscosity and density are given. Other properties we can also import, like in Fluent database is there, and we can have all the properties that some of them are already prefed, and we can define it ourselves as well. So in fluid type materials, we have so many compounds, so many chemicals are there, and water also is there. So if we want to select water, it has all its properties of water and all. So that also works out. And what we had here was air. So air is here, and it has not all the properties here, but already selected, so it won't show here. Yeah. So name by chemical formula if you want to search. So you have all the chemicals here. So I mean, customizations can be done whichever you want, and you can even change these values. So it's totally up to us. So let's keep the air as it is, right? And you want to basically see how the air goes in and what happens inside. So these were the materials. Now we put the materials, so we do the cell zone condition. Now for what we have designed, this is the whole solid material, right? So what it will assume is that the solid material is coated with some wall that we defined as pipe wall, and throughout the solid material, the fluid will be filled with it, and it will flow throughout the solid material. Now we can define few things like for now we have defined solid material as air. If we would have selected water, we could have done water, but there are other options as well. Now if we want suppose that our material or our fluid flows through, suppose we are simulating a rock kind of scenario, that we want our fluid to flow through rock. Suppose we are doing a chemical grouting, or we are doing a grouting operation. and we want to see how the fluid flows through the porous material and how it behaves. So that also can be done here. We just click the porous zone and we can give the porosity properties here. So how, in what direction the permeability is there, how much porosity is there, and so on. Right, all these properties can be given, and there are other areas as well that we can use, and we can give property. For now, we are just focusing on our material as air, and let's click OK. Right, and the boundary conditions. Now, boundary conditions are now what we have to what is the input, what is the output, and so on. So inlet we defined at one end, and outlet we defined at other. Right. So if we click inlet, we have to define some magnitude for velocity. So either we can give velocity or we can give pressure. So any of these will work out for us. We can have either relative or absolute. So let's do that. Let's put a velocity of 1 meter per second, and that's given, and click OK. If you would have some other kind of analysis like thermal analysis, radiation analysis, all these things can be done here. Multi-phase analysis also helps and will be useful in our case, like we want to see how suppose methane is being released inside, and with our ventilation how much methane is being dissipated. So we can define that as well in that sense. So all these can be done. Click OK. So this was for inlet. Interior solid is that's okay, whatever is there. Outlet, we can define any particular outlet pressure, or we can keep it as 0, so it is like an open wall, so whatever goes in comes out, sort of. And we can give other properties as well, but 0 is okay for us now. And in pipe wall we can give few things. It is a stationary wall or a moving wall, so it can expand or contract. That thing can be given. So that allows how much structural stresses are there, that also can be seen. And how much slip is there, how much friction is there, all these things can be defined. So let's keep that as okay, whatever is there. And I think for boundary condition, that's it. Then we have to also select what kind of method we use. So we can select either a laminar flow or a viscous flow. So in this case, it is a laminar flow that is selected. We can we can also select a viscous flow in this case. There are many algorithms on which decide what kind of flow is there. There is a way to define K and omega, and then K omega method is there, K epsilon method is there. Many methods are there. If you are interested in fluid dynamics, you can go into great depths in this. There are like so many methods are there that define the motion, the fluid movement and all. So based on that, we can what is standard for us. In our case, many times K omega method works out, especially in air, water, or similar gassy scenarios. And K omega model has also 3 types, so SST is one of them. We can select that. And with that selection, basically it changes from laminar to viscous flow. And why we are doing this is, even though in 2 centimeters it will not be that much viscosity, that much turbulence will not be, laminar will be there, but still the option has to be given. It should not be like constrained in that sense. When we have a higher cross section, like we are doing on a full scale, it will certainly be turbulent. So that way is that also we have to consider. Okay, so boundary conditions we have given. Now, because it was turbulent, till now it was linear, so things were less. Now it is turbulent, so we can also give some surface roughness, how much the outer wall will be giving some roughness to it, or how much resistance it will be giving to it. We can give that. roughness height, or in meters if we can give the head of that. So that also all things can be given, right? Okay. So moving on, we can give what kind of methods, a method of calculation. So there are in finite element method, we have equations that define how the calculations will be done. In this also, in finite volume, we have different types of basically algorithms that use different equations. Simple, simplex is one of them. Coupled, we usually use two or more. And in that also, which type of equations define what we calculate. So in gradient, what we calculate. So there are Green-Gauss cell method, Green-Gauss node. So the Green-Gauss node generally works, but we can select whichever is appropriate if we have this knowledge. Pressure, secondary order is okay. There is a linear also. If we are going for laminar one, we can use linear. So it basically, with distance, the pressure changes linearly. Second order, we give like x square. So basically, the second order derivative or second order variables also come into picture. It can be body force, so we can define the gravity also, but for now we are not doing that. So let's do that in the second order. And momentum, again, second order is okay. In turbulent, again, let's keep second order. Second order basically gives us more leeway, sort of, because first order or linear generally defines with respect to distance, it is linearly decreasing with some constant or linearly increasing, whatever the situation may be. So second order basically gives us more in the sense that more type of variations, especially when some bends are there or some resistance is kept in between or something like that. Okay. Okay, and in other cases, we have many other monitors where when monitors basically are like where to stop the simulation. So there are two ways in which I think we have already seen in finite element. There were two things which stop simulation, right? One thing was the number of iterations we defined, right? And the other thing was the threshold value. So here also, the residuals are the threshold values for here. Residuals basically mean how much is the difference between basically the previous one and the next one. So absolute criteria they have given as 0.001. Basically any change that is less than 0.001 will stop the iterations to go on. What we can do is we can actually increase it to 1 e to the power minus 6, basically almost squaring it. So what it will do is it will basically go for a better accuracy results. So I am doing it for all continuity k, y, x, y, z velocities, and also for k and omega. K and omega are the equations we are using, k omega type of turbulent equations we are using. So for all, I have given the minimum threshold to be 1 e to the power minus 6. Okay. So let's keep that. Other things also we can see. We can normalize the residuals, so then everything will come in figure of ones rather than itna jada. And what is the convergence criteria? Absolute, relative, none. So if we want to create convergence, because now we are doing the analysis, we are creating the convergence. So let's click that. Okay. Some technicalities are. So if you want to get into all these things, we have to know. Otherwise, even if you just want to simulate it, doesn't require that much deep information. We just need to know which steps to follow. But yes, it's better to know what we are doing and why we are doing it, so that if any problems are there, we are able to solve. So as my mother says, कि खाना बनाना तो कोई भी कर लेगा, लेकिन जब खाना खराब होता है तो उसे सही करना आना चाहिए. That's a cook. So same here, सिमुलेशन कोई भी कर लेगा, लेकिन जब गड़बड़ होती है and then if you do it properly, then you are a you know what you are doing. So okay. And then next step is to initialize. This step we don't do in finite element. So in limit equilibrium method, what happens is uh, basically the figure is broken down into certain segments before the cells or the volumes, right? And based on what we have given, like the linear variation or the second order variation, whatever we give, on the basis of that, it basically defines the some starting points throughout the model. So basically it will divide the model into first based on whatever matching we have done or whatever divisions it seems fit, and then it defines at each step what will be the approximate starting location for suppose the pressure or the velocity or that way. So in that sense, it becomes easy to basically divide processes. Like I have 4 processors, right? So I have to divide the work at 4 instances and basically combine it together. So for that, it basically initializes the solution first. So now if you will see, it has divided the whole structure into 10, and starting from 1 meter per second for velocity, it is doing at a constant pressure. So 1 meter per second, it has divided and reduced it to 1.25 e to the power minus 8 meter per second. So these are not final results. These are like estimated uh, velocities that might be there. But then when it iterates, reiterates, it will find the actual one and then it will combine it totally. So initialization is that, right? And then the final way to uh, start the iterations or start the calculations. So how many iterations we want, that is again up to us. So let's keep at 500. 500 iterations can be done. Now I think there is too much we have done. बहुत सारा confusion हो सकता है, तो just I will बहुत जल्दी से summarize कर देता हूँ. हम लोगों ने पहले ज्योमेट्री बनाई, we made the geometry, we meshed it, right? और फिर यहाँ पे क्या किया, we just found the what is the model that we are doing first of all, जो मैंने थोड़ा लेट किया था, कि टर्बुलेंट होगा कि लैमिनर होगा उसे बताना पड़ेगा, ठीक है. फिर मैंने फिर आई फाउंड कि व्हाट मटेरियल और व्हाट काइंड ऑफ फ्लूइड विल बी देयर, राइट. तो एयर चूज़ किया हम लोगों ने, वी कुड हैव चूजन एनीथिंग. देन वी डिफाइंड कि कहाँ एयर होगी इन दैट सॉलिड. If we would have 2 or 3 phase, multi-phase, we would have divided these solids into different segments while naming them. So we could have defined some part is air, some part is methane, they were mixing someplace or something like that. ठीक है, वो कर सकते थे. And then we define the boundary conditions. Boundary conditions basically inlet velocity कितनी है, outlet pressure कितना है, pipe में कोई friction रहेगा कि नहीं रहेगा, अगर heat transfer का करेंगे अभी तो what about heat, will there be some heated elements, कोई heat transfer हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है, and so on, right? So ये था. And then in solution we basically change the settings. Threshold हम लोगों ने change किया कि किस time तक वो होना चाहिए, what time till what time the simulation should be done, and we basically are now running the simulations. So let's start the calculation. So now it will, if you see on your screen on the right below, it has started the iterations, and it is basically calculating all the properties that we want. So x, y, z, and continuity, and k, omega, all these things. So in each iteration, basically the residual or the change will be keeping on reducing. We have given a threshold of 1 into e to the power minus 6, right? So these are scaled residuals we have, and when all of them reaches either below the 1 e to the power minus 6 point, or we reach the 500 mark, the simulation will stop. So repetitive increment in the answer. ठीक है, तो थोड़ा वेट करते हैं इसके लिए. It will take around 2 more minutes, I think. So in this, while calculating also, you can see how the residuals are basically changing, how our answer is converging or trying to converge to that value. And based on that, we'll find out the results. After this, there will be the post processing stage. एक बार खत्म हो जाता है ये, then we'll see how the post processing works. So now processing is going on. ठीक है, अभी तक किसी को कोई doubt? I think एक बार you have to try this out, and as soon as you do, you will see how intuitive it is. It is not that difficult. इतना सारा करना पड़ रहा है, might be a bit confusing at the start, but if you know what you are doing, so it becomes easier. तो इसीलिए I try to explain कि क्या क्या कर रहे हैं, so that it might be helpful for you guys. तो किसने किसने इंस्टॉल कर लिया एनसिस? किसी ने इंस्टॉल किया है अभी तक सिस्टम में? नो, किसी ने इंस्टॉल नहीं किया अभी तक सिस्टम में? अच्छा, प्रभुपाद ने किया है, ओके गुड. वर्किंग फॉर यू प्रभुपाद?
Yes, sir.
या वर्किंग.
Yes, sir.
पांडव वाज सेइंग पांडव ने भी किया है वन. आई थिंक सम ऑफ यू हैव डन.
Yeah. Yeah.
इंद्रजीत अब आ रहा है? अभी भी दिक्कत है? स्टिल इट्स लैगिंग और व्हाट?
Now it's okay, sir.
नाउ इट्स ओके राइट. आई थिंक कुछ नेटवर्क इश्यूज चलते रहते हैं उसमें. बता दिया करना जैसा हो. So it's reached 300 for now, and one of the residuals, that is green one, I think some of the velocities, there's so much hodgepodge is there in this area. So green one is reaching below 1 e to the minus 5. Acha, this is x velocity. So x velocity is reaching below e to the minus 5 mark, but none of them has reached till now the threshold for us. So the program stops when all of them reaches below the threshold. So or the iterations, number of iterations go off. So 500 iterations is sufficient for our purpose. If we want more accuracy, we can go for 500, 1000, 1500, 2000. It will take correspondingly more time. Ultimate aim is to reduce these. That's the whole aim. So ठीक है, I think it works out for us as of now. Okay. So as soon as it is done, I think it will take 1 more minute. What we'll do is we'll see how things will be can be visualized. Now results are easily obtained by these calculations, but then how to see them, how the velocities are moving, how the things are being generated, and so on. So that we'll see. After this, we'll see if we have some thermal discharge, like if there is a heating problem, like in underground mines, if we have some spontaneous combustion scenario in some places. So we can even predict those in the outlet of the outlet of our ventilation part, or we can have certain readings of air temperature at different locations to see if the air temperature is increasing, and we can deduce that way. So okay, so for now the calculation is complete, and what we'll do is we'll not use this interface for post processing. We'll just save it here and close this. And we will use the ANSYS interface. That is a little bit better. So let's close it here and move to Workbench. So now it has detected that the solution is there. Now we will go for the results or the post-processing aspect of this. Now every type of post-processing is different for every kind of model. In structural, we were basically seeing how the uh, stresses, strains, displacement, all are working. Here we will see how the velocities, how the pressure, how the other factors basically related to uh, fluid are working, right? So right now you won't be able to see anything because we are not seeing the actual things inside here. We have to define what we want to see. So let's first see how the velocity is changed throughout the model. Okay. So a good way of doing this is directly using three-dimensional streamlines. The streamlines basically are uh, define at one point if we start and we end at other point, what will be the velocities at different points. So let's start a streamline. Let this be streamline of velocity, right? And click OK. And we have to give the type of a streamline, 3D streamline, or we have to surface. So for now it is 3D. And all domains. So which parts we want to see? We want to cover everything. So all domains is okay. And start from. So we can start from inlet. That will be better. We can start from outlet as well. It will back calculate and how many number of points we want. So let's keep it 50. And that's it. Apply. So yeah. So if you zoom in, so these basically are giving us the velocities right now. Let me change the legend view a bit so that it gives us a fixed value at a precision of 3. Yeah. So these are how the velocity components are there. You have to see how to rotate this and all. Okay. So inlet is this side. Okay. So as the water rush is in, we have given some velocities, right? Inlet velocity. And with respect to change in this, how the there are 2-3 factors that are affecting. There is the resistance due to the wall that will be there. Due to that, the turbulence or the resistance will be there. And then at the bends, how the things are changing. See, so a good picture or the good visualization can be obtained with respect to this, especially at the bends, how the velocity is changed. Now, good thing is that you know the concepts of ventilation, right? So which are the ventilation equations that are there and how much reduction or the how much resistance is there at each bend, a 90-degree bend or something like that. So you can calculate these values manually and also try to see by simulations how these are done. So a good exercise can be there. And this is a sort of a display of uh, how the motion will be there. Another good way of demonstrating this is by putting a very quick animation. So let me try that and see if this can be done. For now, if that can be done. Yeah. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me slow it out a bit. Yeah. And rather than putting it infinite, I put it at 5 loops. Right. And see now how the center part will be will be a little bit faster, but at bends, the center will be being attacked uh, by the bends. It will be, the center will basically change. So how the things will possibly go ahead. Rendering is slow. I don't know why. So that's how things are done, right? So a very simple animations will basically demonstrates what things are done. These all things can be recorded. All these videos can be recorded to for our project purposes if we want to show how the ventilation will happen, which are the places which have high velocities, which are the places will have stagnation of water or the air, right? So stagnation of air basically means that if uh, any release of methane or some similar gas is there in that zone, it won't be basically moved properly. So those things can be seen, right? And many other interpretations can be done in this sense. Basically, these kind of demonstrations are very helpful in understanding what is happening. So after a bend, we can see how the high velocity basically reduced, and even further when it reaches the bend, it reduces and goes on, right? So all these things can be interpreted and well understood in that sense. Let me stop this for now. Somehow my system is a bit glitchy in terms of animation rendering and all. So let me stop it and show you other things. नहीं हो रहा क्या? Close ही कर रखा. So this is one way to demonstrate. Another way is to basically find cross sections. So rather than doing it in 3-dimension, we can use a 2-dimensional plane to see what are the things. Let me show you that as soon as it opens. Okay, so previous things were not saved. Okay, anyways, so the second way is to define a plane, and to do that we basically insert a plane from the locations, insert a plane, and we can define which part it will be. So in our case, the figure is basically on the XZ plane because our path was on XZ direction, right? So let's put the plane also in XZ, and we can define the Y, how much high or low it will be. So let's keep it 0. So it will be at the origin, and click apply. So it has basically done a basically made a 2-dimensional plane that is cutting it on the ZX axis. Okay, in this plane we can see many things. Like for example, we can insert contours, and in that contours we can use uh, many other inputs apart from velocity. So like suppose we define which plane we want, and we can use it to see uh, pressure, right? How the pressure changes. So this is very linear change of pressure. It started from a high at the inlet point, and at a low or zero, near zero at the outlet point. So it won't be exactly zero. It should be at the end point, but because the positive pressure will be there, so it will reach some value, right? And we can see other things like there can be eddy viscosity if that is shown. I don't think it will be. So eddy viscosity is basically how much eddy the viscosity or the eddies basically are forming. So it will be more concentrated on the resistance side or before the resistances. So that's why the eddy values will be more. Basically, the portion of how much is trying to return and how much is going ahead. So there will be no return as it is, but there will be a tendency to raise the forward motion, right? So can lead to eddies. So where are these eddies and which are the portions that will have the maximum one? So that also can be seen, right? Other inputs are like velocity we have already seen, frequency, kinetic energy, turbulence, how much turbulence is there at what point. So maximum turbulence generally is due near the bend points. So this also we can see here, right? So because it is a symmetric model, a two-dimensional representation also works out for us because our cross section is a symmetric circle. If it would have been a like a tunnel, U-shaped tunnel or horseshoe-shaped tunnel, we might have to show them or show the results as two cross sections on the ZX axis and then the what will be that ZX or ZY axis, right? So in that sense, we can give them two cross sections and show them how the ventilation basically would have worked in that sense, right? So this is about turbulence. There can be heat related issues, but we'll see them in the next simulation. And that's it, because velocity we have seen, others are not that useful for now. Yeah, that's it. Velocities, if you want to plot velocity, we can plot velocity here as well. So how the velocities are changing with respect to center or with respect to the edges, how it is changing, and with respect to the corners, which part have the high velocity, which part have the low velocity. So this portion which you are seeing here, this is the corner effect that is called. So even though the centralized high velocity distribution, basically when bends are there, it shifts towards the bend direction. So this is one concept of the fluid motion, that when bends are there, the center or the high velocity center shifts. So this can be easily seen here, right? Even in the other, I think it will be easily seen. Yep. So the bend, the center shift is also seen, right? So these kind of things we can analyze. We can see what are the significance of it. Suppose we want to open a face in this direction, so we can design it and see how much velocity it is reaching at what point. Now we can also put queries here like we used to do, but in this sense there is it's called a probe, and it can be a point probe, it can be a longer probe as well. So if you put a probe here and see its velocity, so pressure can be seen here. If you want to see velocity, velocity can be seen here, and so on. So these are point probes. We can put a line probe, we can put a volumetric probe, and so on. So all these things can be done. Not going into details of that, but useful tools for analysis part, right? Uh, right. I think this is one part of the way we can do. We can also use vectors. Vectors basically show us the direction of what we are doing. So if I remove the contour first and define the vector as all surfaces, location on the plane, plane, sampling vertex, reduction the trend, apply. So the vector basically tells us that what will be direction and the intensity. So sometimes it will go out because there will be higher velocity in this direction. Uh, and vectors are basically arrows, small arrows in that sense, and showing the direction and intensity of that. So a good idea of how much uh, velocity or velocity impact is there, right? So in linear portions, there will be less impact. Higher impact portions will be bulged out from there. So these all things can be analyzed. Good and a good type of analysis can be done on these cases if we know what we are doing in that sense. So uh, a good tool basically for any kind of our ventilation simulations and all. Right. One thing, let's close this on. And right. So we are almost done with the first part of it, and we could see how the velocities and pressures are there. Any doubt till now? Anything you want to discuss till now before we move ahead? Okay. So one thing more I want to show that a good uh, area where things work out when we do certain kind of ventilation stopping is ventilation modeling is uh, when we have some temperature differences or some temperature changes or variations are there. So there is a scenario where one of these, suppose in a wider sense, one of these galleries basically has a spontaneous combustion problem. And due to that, the temperature of this area basically has increased. So scaling it down, everything for this pipe kind of scenario, what we are trying to do is basically we are trying to see if this temperature is increased in this kind of element. What will be the effect of air and what will be the effect of the temperature of air as it goes ahead? And monitoring that can be predicted back, like back propagation sort of. So that also can be easily done in CFD because it's again based on finite volume because flux can be moved in fluid, it can also move in thermodynamics, right? So it's easy. All these things we have done. So what we can do is we don't have to change much in this. We just go to the meshing part. Geometry will be same. Everything will be same. We just go to the meshing part and we define another section, the section that will be heated as another named section. Okay. So let it open. Right. So what we want is for now our inlet was here, right? Here is the inlet and here is the outlet, correct? And this was the full pipe wall. Now our scenario wants that this section, the first section near the inlet, is basically having a heating problem or spontaneous heating is there. So what we can do is, because we have to give different properties to different portions, we have to give new named section to this. So uh, we name it again, we select this and we make it a new one. Last time I was doing it at once, but I think this way is okay to understand. So this can be wall element 1, right? And we click OK. And in the pipe wall, we can deselect this. So for doing that, I have to select the remaining portions. So I can select the remaining portions as this and click apply. So basically I have pipe wall, regular pipe wall on the second portion and a separate portion I have defined it later. That's it. That's all I have to do. So I just update this. And by updating, I have basically brought it back to the uh, system. So now I go to the setup and it is giving me a warning that do you want to change whatever you have done previously? So yes. upstream data has been, so it gives a lot of warnings. So yeah, just read it and see if it is not a big issue. Let's click OK. So here, because we had done all the assignments and all the selections in the previous part as well, we might not be needed to do it, but let's see, because we have changed some selections or the portions of that. So we may have to define few things again. So we'll see. So basically what happens is, it defines in geometry, it basically takes the inlet, outlet, and the main wall. So that's okay. It's the portion is there. It's not disappeared for now. So whatever you see, it's that is just a representation. Okay. So first thing to change here is apart from the turbulent model that we are using, we are also defining the heat processes. So we have to define this model as thermal. So energy is the model where we do that. And this can be defined by energy equations. So we just select the energy equations and click OK. Okay, that's the portion where we define that our model will also handle the thermal effect. So this kind of modeling is called hydrothermal modeling, HT. Uh, when we do mechanical stuff also, तो इसको HTM modeling कहते हैं, hydrothermal mechanical modeling. तो उसमें stresses and all things का also comes. So this is the hydrothermal modeling. So modeling in model we have defined that. Now few things we have to take care. In material we have air, so let's keep that way. The outside is aluminium, so aluminium is okay. Cell zone we have defined it as fluid, so solid is fluid, that is okay. In boundary conditions, we have to define few new things now. In the inlet, now even though we had given 1 meter per second, now if you will see there is a thermal tab that appears. That was not active last time. So we can click that and we can basically define a temperature here. So what is the inlet temperature? 300 degrees Celsius is almost a room temperature air. So let's keep it that way. So what we are trying to do is we'll see if heating during the element what will be its effect. So let's keep it that way. 300 is okay. The interior solid. Now you see, interior solid is already we have defined as fluid, so that's okay. Outlet we have defined as zero pressure, but we can also define that thermal. So if we want to set something like the input temperature should be 37 degrees and 23 degrees, or output should be 50 degrees or something. So we can set that, but it's not that much required. So whatever is there as a constant, let's keep it that way. In the just a second. We can keep no, we have to keep it constant. Okay. ठीक है. एक और option आता था where we can actually define the flux, how much heat should go out. But anyways, that's okay. Let's click OK here. And in pipe wall is our usual wall. We are not concerned with that. But our next, this wall, the wall element E, that we have to define some thermal. So in that cases, we can give what kind of energy we are putting. So if we can give heat flux in watts per meter square, we can give temperature, we can give if there is a heat transfer coefficient or heat connection or heat sink sort of, we can give radiation or some mixed value sort of. So let's give temperature. At a constant temperature it is raised. So in sense of temperature, it can be suppose 200 degrees Celsius to 473, right? 473 Kelvin. Okay, and that is it. Wall thickness you can define as very small thickness. I think we can do that, 1 mm. And let's click OK. So that's the whole portion we have to change. Other things all remain same. The solution methods we have kept same, so let's keep it that way. Yep. And even the solution controls or the monitors, the residual values are same. So 1 e to the power minus 6, that's okay. And similar, we have to initialize again. So it decides 10 values, divides the whole program into 10, and let's do this analysis again. So what's changing now? Even though the computer doesn't know, but we know that all the velocities being sound is there along with the sound. Still is there. Some sound is coming. What kind of sound is there? Some buzzing sound is there.
Yes, sir.
Buzzing. Apna, okay. That is strange. नहीं प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है स्टिल इज इट देयर स्टिल अभी भी है कोई बताते रहो मेरे को आई एम जस्ट सॉर्टिंग फ्यू थिंग्स देखता हूँ क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम है टिल द टाइम प्रोसेसिंग इज गोइंग ऑन द साउंड इज स्टिल देयर द बजिंग साउंड जब बोलते हैं तब आ रहा है साउंड एक्स्ट्रा
So slightly.
Hold on. Yeah, it is there. Acha. Okay, what else can be done? इसको अगर हटा now it is there still. You can hear me. If I remove this, इससे better हुआ क्या कि अभी भी है? कोई बताओ still it's problem. इससे better है कि नहीं? Now fan noise is there. Good. I think I need new earphone. तो यही दो ऑप्शंस थे मेरे पास अभी तो ये ऐसी आ रही है कैसे ज़ी आवाज एकदम से तो पहले तो नहीं आती थी स्ट्रेंज थॉट क्रिकेट जैसी strange. Now my volume is reduced. कि अभी भी ऐसे में भी जाने वाला है क्या ये हेलो हेलो, अभी भी आवाज़ कम आ रही है? क्लासेस कैसे लेंगे भाई? एक बार फ़ोन से लॉगिन करें और आप खुद ही सुनें। हाँ, ये भी सही है, लेकिन वो मेरी ओके, ट्राई करते हैं। वेट वेट, डोंट बी अनॉयड। एक्चुअली फ़ोन में लॉगिन करूँगा ना तो फीडबैक में चला जाएगा, बट ओके, ट्राई करते हैं। तब तक अभी तो हैं 2 मिनट और। क्या हुआ भाई, चलो। हेलो हेलो हेलो, हाँ, टिल द टाइम प्रोसेसिंग इज गोइंग ऑन, आई एम जस्ट चेकिंग कि क्या हो रहा है। तो मैं इसको पास ला रहा हूँ अपने हाथ से। But you can hear me, you know? अगर दूर रखूंगा तो आवाज़ आती है? अभी आई थिंक इफ आई कीप इट फार अवे तो आवाज़ कम हो जाएगी ना, बट दैट नॉइस विल रिड्यूस। इज दिस बेटर? बीच बीच में आ रही है। एनीवेज, कोशिश करते हैं। अगर आवाज़ नहीं आए तो बता देना, मैं थोड़ा ज़ोर से बोलने की कोशिश करूँगा। आई फील अगर पास में रख रहा हूँ ना मैं, तो फिर तो तुम्हें वो अजीब सी आवाज़ आ रही है। इफ़ यू कैन हियर मी अभी, आवाज़ आ रही है ठीक ठाक? अगर ऐसे रखो तो बताओ। अभी सही है?
सब ठीक है
सब
सर।
ठीक
सर
है
आप
सर आप।
अभी ठीक है? चलो ठीक है। तो नाउ व्हाट वी डू, इसका एनालिसिस हो गया, इसको पोस्ट प्रोसेसिंग में ले जाते हैं और सेव कर लेते हैं पहले। ओके, एंड लेट्स क्लोज दिस। अब इसमें क्या है, now what we have added is basically we have added the thermal component here. So उसको कैसे करते हैं, we'll see. Now it's not that any different from what we were doing last time. But अब इस बार apart from velocities and pressures we can add the thermal portion as well, right? So ये तो पुराना post processing किया हुआ था, so already is there. If you would have done it new, वो सब making a plane and everything would be the starting point. But once you have done that, so what we can do is we can add a contour or add a vector or something, and just define the thermal properties here. So we are defining it on a plane, and we can put a temperature value here, and let's increase the number of contours to 30 and apply. So now so if you see now the top portion, let me zoom in. Rotation. So this is the inlet. ठीक है, यहाँ पे हम लोगों का starting. Okay, let me change these. Let me change this contouring trends also, because it doesn't make sense. हर बार scientific कर देता है, it doesn't make sense. So let's keep it fixed. Yeah. ठीक है, Kelvin में. Correct. Okay. So a starting point we had like 300 Kelvin, right? That was room temperature around 23 degrees Celsius. फिर हम लोगों का, you see this portion was the heating element. So if you zoom in, you will see the outer boundary, जितना भी हमने minimum thickness दिया था, basically that is representing the high temperature 473 or 200 degree Celsius scale. Okay. फिर उसकी वजह से जैसे जैसे हीटिंग हो रही है, so that can be seen very easily here. So how the temperature is being increased and how it basically transfers from throughout the pipe or throughout the tunnel to the end of it. So ultimately हम लोगों का जो temperature finally मिल रहा है हमें, वो if you probe this and see कि यहाँ पे क्या है. So the temperature here is basically 416. So very high temperature, I think, because we have kept it in that way. Or in that sense, if we here, अगर probe लगाएं यहाँ पे, if we probe it here, so it will be starting from 299. It is basically increasing gradually as the heating is going on, and ultimately increases to 417 and then stabilizes there. So because abhi this basically is not a very long representation, because इसलिए there will be some time for cooling as well. So थोड़ा सा cooling भी होगी इसमें obviously. But ultimately what happens is this kind of there will be patches that will be made of hot air and cold air. So because there will be some cold portion or the cooling portion will also be there in the real life I'm saying. So when a spontaneous heating sort of is detected, there will be some patches of hot and cold that can be seen. तो वो वाला इसमें अभी नहीं कर पाए हम लोग because this scale we have reduced a bit too much. Turbulent airflow and at different temperatures basically have patches of hot and cold air. So those can be actually detected when you go inside, and then you can understand what is happening. Even the return air when it comes, the inlet and the outlet air, so that also creates a problem. कि hot and cold air के patches बन जाते हैं. So those kind of simulations can also be done. So temperature is again a very important condition to monitor in these kind of ventilation simulation, right? Now, this is very simplistic what I have shown you. This can be increased in complexity to whatever extent you want. You can try to make a maybe 100-meter gallery with 3 bends at 30 meters, right? And make a full cross section and try it out. Or you can make a full mining scenario ventilation plan that is gone for a full mining case. That also we can do. In those cases, whenever you do such a large scale type of geometry, do take care that processing time will increase correspondingly. Okay, तो उसमें ये काम कर सकते हैं कि we can divide it in a larger section. Suppose अगर हम लोग 100 मीटर या 200 मीटर का कर रहे हैं, then we can maybe our mesh size can be not 2 millimeters or 5 millimeters in this case, but वहाँ पे फिर हम लोग को 1 मीटर या something on those scale हम लोग को रखना पड़ेगा, because ultimately we have to allow our computer also to process it, right? So that is how things are done. Other things also can be much visualized. We can analyze how the temperature is being changed. We can analyze अगर 2 streams इसमें mix होती हैं तो कैसे होगा, how the things will be. So all these things you can try it out. अभी के लिए I will stop here for now and for today. Any suggestions, any questions, any discussions are there we can have, or in next class in computer applications what we'll do is we'll move ahead a bit and see other things क्या क्या कर सकते हैं, ठीक है. Soon we will have Serpac with us. We are acquiring it now. और हम लोगों का लाइसेंस खराब हो गया था, ख़त्म हो गया था. So maybe as soon as the acquisition is done, so we will conduct some training sessions from the company itself. So उसमें सब लोगों को रखेंगे. Let's see क्या how the things can be done, and later on we will have that as well in our this course. ठीक है. Till then we'll continue our learning part. इसके आगे हम लोगों को 2 और बड़े मॉड्यूल ख़त्म करने हैं. तो एक में one part consists of machine learning, in which numericals, these neural networks, regression, fuzzy logic, all these things will be covered. One part will be based on remote sensing, digital images processing, and photogrammetry, something related to what you learned about drone technology, right? On those lines. तो 2 मॉड्यूल्स हैं हमारे बड़े बड़े बचे हुए अभी, तो देखते हैं कैसे करना है, how to cover those things, ठीक है. एक टेस्ट लेना है मेरे को about the basic finite element and limit equilibrium simulations. This will be test, but it will be 1 hour test. तुम लोगों को 1 या 2 प्रॉब्लम दी जाएंगी सिमुलेशन की. प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट उसी समय दी जाएगा. यू हैव टू कंप्लीट इट, मेक गेट सम स्क्रीनशॉट्स एंड गेट द आंसर्स, और that has to be submitted within the time period whatever is your 1 hour 2 hour whatever is there. तो एक काम ये कर सकते हैं कि we can have that next week in this time. So we won't include ANSYS in that because many of you don't have that, but we will include phase and slide. So if things are okay, we can keep it in next week this time, like 9:30 to 11:30. So अगर कुछ issue है उसमें तो बताओ, otherwise we can decide and take that up as well. ठीक है? चलेगा? Any problem in that next week? Test for simulation, basic ones. सुन रहे हो ना सब लोग? चलो ठीक है, बताओ कोई इश्यू हो, we will discuss it later. So let's try and finalize this. ठीक, anything to discuss? Anyone has any queries, any doubts, anything for discussion in computer applications? No, so we'll close it here. It's already 11:30. We'll meet for Rock's Law Technology in evening, 3 o'clock. Thank you very much for taking time. अब इसका मैं देखता हूँ क्या करना है for this crickety noise as per Nitesh. Chalo, thank you everyone. Do keep yourself safe these days. Take care. शाम को मिलते हैं.